Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to pretty much, I believe, the last Call of Duty clip that we're gonna post. Well, I don't know, if somebody else wants to post the new Modern Warfare videos, go ahead and post them. I do not mind, but you will not be seeing Call of Duty posts by me unless of course there's an update, of course. But today is the MVP promotion day, and promotion day was always the greatest day personally in my opinion, because what really drove me in MVP was the training, was the development, was them improving, was them finding out what type of player they are, and it's them going through different MVP members and Illuminati and legends and different high level top tier players to establish their legendary status within MVP. Because honestly, when you look back in MVP and all the 12 years we've had in this clan, you look at the memories and the moments that captivated you, like the greatest matches or the greatest clan wars or the greatest events, or you know what I mean, like people that really shaped themselves. Like back in, I would say back long ago when it was 5th gen, there was tons of rivalries, tons of people that they came up at the same time, and then they're still battling, and then even though they're lieutenants, they're still battling, and the rivalry goes on forever. But after 5th gen, there wasn't really that much rivalries. There was more team building things. So like, but anyways, despite all that, I could talk over years with that. We're gonna start with the first promotion of today. I'm gonna make this video one cohesive video. I was thinking about making separate videos and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time, to do it, to upload and everything. So the first promotion we have today is the 3rd lieutenant promotion, and that position is going to Antisocial. Now, why Antisocial? Who is Antisocial? What did he do? Antisocial is a good old friend of mine from Xenoverse 2. We played that game together a long time ago, a couple years back, and we played a lot of Fortnite together, and that's pretty much it. Obviously, MVP when it came to gaming was more important than any other thing. So I would play these other games really rarely. So the great thing about Antisocial's member run was he came in, I was surprised that he played Call of Duty. Alright, I was very surprised that this guy plays Call of Duty, and the only way for me to know how good he was to 1v1 him. I'm pretty sure we did a couple matches online, then he wanted to, we were winning, we were getting a lot of kills, and then he wanted to 1v1 me. Now, I'm no like, I wouldn't necessarily say chicken shit, but I'm no like trash player. Like when you elevate yourself to be a captain, and you've been a captain for 5 years, you really know what it takes to be the best, be undefeated, train people, build a generation. You've faced pretty much everybody in the clan, you've beaten everybody in the clan. Your skill level goes beyond just using a fucking assault rifle or a submachine gun or a light machine gun. You're way versatile, where you can use pretty much anything. You can pick up your opponent's gun, you've never ever used those attachments, and still find a way to kill them based off of how good the gun is, long range, minimum range, whatever. Cold War was the game where the Tech 9 was literally the best gun in the game. I've never seen any bullshit like this. They build a submachine gun that's versatile, long range, mid range, and close range. Submachine guns are usually close mid, right? But to have that long range factor too is crazy. Even without a reticle sight, like a straight up iron sight, is lethal. So what was happening from when Antisocial joined and before our matchup was I was getting finessed by the Tech 9. Gasser debuted months prior, and he beat he beat a lieutenant. He beat Dopey, and beating a lieutenant on your first day is kind of suspicious, especially for me, because like they're the elite. So if you're a member, you come in, you're not a multiplayer person, you're a zombies player, and you just flat out beat an elite with a fucking Tech 9 and marshals. That must mean that his style, his strategy was too overwhelming for a fucking elite class lieutenant to counter. And it's not even like Dopey, not Dopey. It's not even like Joke had counter classes to that. He did not. Like he didn't have marshals, and I'm pretty sure he didn't have the Tech 9 either. And he was getting ripped apart because they designed a game where they made these guns so OP. So, and Gasser's style was second gen. So when I faced Gasser, it was a long match. But like I said, I saw what he was doing, his style, and it was very hard to get around. Like you can't go in the house, you get killed by the marshals. Mid-range, long-range, depending on where you are in the map located, you get mixed by the Tech 9. So it was a close match, but I still lost in the end. I can't remember what the score was. Maybe I lost by 1, I can't remember, or by 2. But we get to Antisocial, and I've already, till I fought him, had experience with the Tech 9. And Antisocial, he's a fucking true on rusher. The best rusher I've seen in a long time, especially where they design these games so you can not be a rusher and be a camper. But he's just a hardcore rusher. So like, my mindset was this was going to be a good dub for me. It's going to be a good match, but a good dub. Because if you're just a plain out rusher, that means when you die, you immediately just rush out again. And like, don't get me wrong, it's not like Antisocial's just rushing out like a brain dead idiot and getting picked off. Like, no. Antisocial is a rusher, but a elite COD player, which means that he's checking his corners when he rushes out in milliseconds. He knows positions on the map, because this is Nuketown. He knows positions on the map where to expect somebody to kill him. And the problem with me is I kept changing my style. Like, I wasn't just doing just rushing or just this. At the beginning, if you go back and you watch the clip, yeah, I did rush at the beginning to see what he does. But then after a while, I realized I had to keep switching it up between the match to confuse him. And even though I won the match, after the match he said, you know, he was sweating. And that was probably one of the greatest 1v1s he's had in a long time. And that just shows you the difference between a captain and somebody who's just coming in to the clan. Because a captain, he's seen all types of strategies, everything, he knows how to diverse. But the fact is, the reason Antisocial is being promoted is because he's a very intelligent, unique player. Everybody that joined 9th Gen knows how to shoot, how to get 25 average and more online. They know how to do 1v1s. They're versatile with a lot of the weapons in the game, and new weapons they master pretty quickly. When it comes to online, they pretty much know what they're doing. So each person deserves a promotion to lieutenant. Unfortunately today there's only going to be 4. But yeah, Antisocial went from that 1v1 to busting his ass. You know, every training session we were in, he was, you know, I had him on 2 different random teams. Like, he can be with Gas or he can be with whatever. And everybody was just going back to back to back to back. And everybody was having such a fun time. They all love Social. Social's a very quiet person. He doesn't really talk with his mic. He concentrates on the video game. Which would, shit, I might have to make these all separate videos, because this is probably going to be like an hour-long video, but we'll see how it goes. Antisocial just, he's a leader. He's a leader in the sense of he knows his worth to the team, but he doesn't brag about it. He doesn't cause conflict. He doesn't cause issues. He doesn't say anybody is trash. He's just very amped. He wants to be at the front line. He wants to lead the team to victory. He wants to have the most kills in the game. This is a true Call of Duty player. Alright? He really knows just how to get, and this is 2022 Call of Duty. This isn't like 2014 COD or whatever like that. This is hands down an era where it's skill-based matchmaking, an era where they can make 2 guns and destroy any other gun in the game, an era where people camp more than actually push, and an era where they try to eliminate spawn trapping to literally the 1% factor, and you can't spawn trap. So it's like Antisocial is playing these games with us. He's getting 50 and higher. He's getting 80 kills. One game on fucking Slums, he got 100 fucking kills, or 108 kills. I was going off. But it just shows you that this guy can go off with a solid team and carry, and that's the type of people you want to promote to lieutenant. Somebody who just, it doesn't matter how strong the other team is, as long as he trusts his teammates and as long as he has passion for the game, this kid will accelerate and become the best ever. He's gonna get his kills, and as long as he knows he has his team behind him, he's gonna feel safe. And when you feel safe as a rusher, you can accomplish anything, because I'm a natural rusher myself. So I know what to say about them. Yeah, he then he got selected to be a part of the MVP duel tournament. He completely did his best. A lot of people were a little intimidated on, you know, because everybody in 9th Gen, they're very intelligent. They're strategists. They know how good the players are in their generation, so they get a little worried. So even before this event came, people are trying to figure out ways around different types of players' strategies and tactics. And yeah, Antisocial is on like one of those guys, you know, like fuck, you know, who's Antisocial's partner gonna be? And you know, like people were a little skeptical on that. First it was Pam, and then it was his actual friend from school, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where you work so hard that people see your worth and they get intimidated. Not afraid, but intimidated, because they don't know how the match is going to go, depending on the map and everything. But yeah, he fought good, he fought hard, and he did a great job. He was also in the Search Wars event. I'm pretty sure he won that. It was so unfair. But things had to happen the way they is. But to put a long story short, Antisocial is being promoted to the 3rd lieutenant of MVP's 9th Gen because he is a phenomenal player, a good person, a good human being, and he has all the tools to take MVP to the next level if he deems it so. If he's really passionate about it, and look aside all the bullshit with this new game, which I'm telling everybody not to get and not to play. He has the ability to lead MVP. Him not being able to communicate is a really down factor, because to become a captain, I think I gotta make these videos are gonna be separate. These videos are gonna be separate. To be a captain, you have to be able to communicate to your team. And the fact that he plays with his mic off and he concentrates on the game isn't enough, because as a captain, like if you compare it to an anime, like you have to have a wide field of vision. You got to see what the enemy's doing strategy and tactics wise. You got to tell your team. You gotta, you gotta inform everybody on which places they want to go and hold down for a portion of the game, and you gotta come up with tactics, because especially in this modern era of COD, social, all I can say to you is this: like, if you can't communicate to your team, it's going to be harder for your team to figure out things and adapt and win, because everybody is adapting based off of who's killing them in the game, but they're not adapting to the point where, like, they see where the other team is the strongest on one side and they call out on which locations they're pinpointed in. So my advice to you to work on going forward in MVP, if you're passionate about that 6 captain role, is to just concentrate on communicating and call outs. These are 2 main factors, because when you're training people, obviously you got to communicate. You can't just show them something and they won't understand, right? You got to get to a point where it's like I could be quiet and go ham, and I can still talk and go ham at the same time. Most players have a hard time mixing the 2 together. When I started in MVP, I was no different than you. When the match starts, I'm quiet, I concentrate on my role, what I gotta do. I didn't really do much call outs, because my era, everybody kind of knew what they were doing, so I didn't really have to do that, and we just concentrated on who can be number 1 and like have the highest kills and everything. And 95% of the time it was always me, unless I was lagging, or you know what I mean. But yeah, it wasn't until I became captain I had that same thing. But once I started having lieutenants, I started to talk more in the match. I started to, you know, people for years were always telling me to, like, you know, you don't gotta, you're like, go easy, Cheese, you know, relax, you know, let's have fun this game, let's not, you know, sweat. So after the years, it kind of broke me down, but it didn't really stop my momentum. I still dropped the same amount of kills that I always do. But yeah, man, all I can say to you is keep training every day consistently and work on communicating. It's going to make you a better player overall, because if you can just call out, it assists your team so much. You have no idea how much it assists your team. Your team can be good, but if they don't know where people are in advance to pushing out, it's only gonna make it harder for your team to advance and push forward. So that's pretty much all I can say to you. Congratulations on your promotion to becoming the 3rd lieutenant of MVP's 9th gen, a generation that literally was only like 2 people for like a good 2 years, I'm pretty sure. And then I just had enough and I had to complete the generation, and then Bob's your uncle, you come out of nowhere like a fucking, you know, like raining gold, you know. So keep pushing hard and doing what you do best, and you're gonna accomplish great feats in MVP. So that's it for social. The next clip will be the 4th lieutenant's promotion to, or whoever the 4th lieutenant of 9th gen is, promotion to lieutenant. And it's a spoiler. Alright guys, catch you later.